This is a Bramble Jam podcast.
Welcome to Girls Gone Hallmark. I'm Megan, a longtime Hallmark fan.
I'm Wendy. I'm a former Hallmark hater who now co-hosts a Hallmark podcast.
Today's episode is a special one because, yes, we are talking about a Netflix series, but before anyone panics, Ripple was originally developed for Hallmark before making its way to Netflix, which explains why it kind of has that familiar feel that we know and love. So if you're new here, welcome. And to our Hallmark faithful, don't worry, we're still very much in our Hallmark era. We're just excited to follow a story that still carries out Hallmark DNA, even if it's streaming somewhere else. Today, we will be discussing Season 1, Episode 1 of Ripple, which is now streaming on Netflix. The episode is titled A Stone's Throw. And for everyone, we are on all of the socials as Girls Gone Hallmark.
Hey, if you have thoughts on Ripple or anything else, quite frankly, email us, girlsgonehallmark@gmail.com. We do a sort of regular mailbag episode where we read emails from listeners with their thoughts. So you can do that if you have thoughts on Ripple. We are going to be dropping our reviews weekly through the end of the series.
Correct.
So if you are watching and have some thoughts and want to jump in the discussion, please, girlsgonehallmark@gmail.com.
We're going to kick off our discussion of Ripple Season 1, Episode 1 with a synopsis.
The episode is titled A Stone's Throw. A grieving man and music exec, a father in crisis, a conflicted woman, and a pebble that causes a ripple effect connecting the lives of our four strangers.
For anybody new to the podcast, we do a segment up top that we call News and Notes, where we run through the people who are involved in the creation of this show. We're going to kick it off with talking about our director. Episode 1 was directed by Amanda Tapping. Amanda has 56 directing credits, which includes series like The 100, Anne with an E, Motherland, Fort Salem, and Murder in a Small Town. The writers for Episode 1 are Michelle Giannusa, Ava Taylor, and Jerry Canto-Georgis. Michelle is the showrunner of Ripple. She has just one previous writing and producing credit, The Dead Girls Detective Agency. Ava Taylor also has just one additional writing credit for the television show Good Trouble. And this is Jerry Canto-Georgis' first writing credit.
Kind of surprised by all of that.
Yes!
It's a complicated story.
I agree.
I can't even imagine like the murder board that they created,
I do know what you're talking about.
to weave all this together.
All our red strings tying all of our characters together.
Yeah. Frankie Faison plays Walter. He's known for The Wire, Banshee, and Coming to America. Faison brings a wealth of experience and warmth to the role. His acclaimed work in The Killing of Kenneth Chamberlain and recent roles in Hello Tomorrow and The Rookie, Feds, hint at a depth he can bring to Walter.
Julia Chan plays the character of Chris. Julia Chan's past work includes Netflix's Archive 81, the CW's Katie Keene, and Bell Media's Saving Hope.
Ian Harding plays Nate. Ian is well known for Pretty Little Liars. He has appeared in movies like Ford vs. Ferrari and Hallmark's The Magic of Lemon Drops, as well as the limited Hallmark series Holidays.
Sydney Agadong is a singer-songwriter who appears as Aria. She has 13 total acting credits. She appeared in the live-action Lilo and Stitch, as well as the TV movie Trapped in the Farmhouse.
Is that a Lifetime joint?
Probably.
Marcy T. House appears as Widow Tara. Marcy has a whopping 126 acting credits and most recently appeared in 8 episodes of Murder in a Small Town.
Sarah Swire plays Ellis. Sarah has 25 acting credits, most recently appearing in the series Murdoch Mysteries and The Last Frontier.
How cool is the name Ellis?
Oh my gosh. Hey, let's take a quick break and we're going to come right back with our first impressions of this episode of Ripple. Hey, Wendy, what was your first impression of episode 1 of Ripple?
It's more about the series.
Yeah.
And all my notes say is, wow, season 2, immediately.
Yeah. My first impression is Hello, emotional world building final boss.
Let me ask you, were you surprised by this show?
Was I surprised? I will tell you, spoiler alert, I very much enjoyed it. I will tell you, this does not feel like a Hallmark show, so I'm surprised in that sense.
Got it. Can I tell you my very first like?
Yes.
No shade to Hallmark, but I'm honestly so happy this didn't air on Hallmark.
Because people would not have rallied for it.
Ripple is exactly the kind of show that Hallmark traditionalists would have torched.
Right.
And like I say, no shade to the Hallmark fan. I'm a Hallmark fan. But this is so not Hallmark. It's not Hallmark. It's not Hallmark. And
I would love if this is the direction Hallmark was headed.
so do I. And I think it's a real misstep that they let this go.
Yeah.
I think if it premiered on Hallmark or Hallmark Plus, which it was originally for Hallmark Plus, is that right?
Yes.
I think we would be looking at another Providence Falls, which was a 3-part miniseries on Hallmark Channel that wasn't super well received.
No, but if you're listening to this and you have a Hallmark Plus subscription, it's worth checking out that series.
Yeah. The reason why I, in my opinion, think that the fans wouldn't have liked this on Hallmark is because it's not built on the guaranteed tidy ending.
Correct.
And as we record this, I have seen the first 3 episodes. I haven't seen the whole series yet. I don't know how it ends.
It's not built on familiarity.
Right.
Hallmark follows a very familiar structure. It's why they're so successful, and this is not built on that. And that's why it works. Look, this pilot, this is one of the things I liked. They're setting the stage, like the emotional narration that we get from Aria. Small choices change big things. We're all strangers before we meet. I mean, it kind of like sets the mood, lets us know where we're going. And then they just weave this tapestry of all these tiny little choices that ultimately push these characters closer together. Now, I have not seen beyond episode 1 yet, but I feel like, and I could be wrong, we're then going to dig deeper into these characters' lives, perhaps see bits and pieces of their past, how they came to be. But this just, the way it brings us all together at the end of the episode is masterful.
I think so too. And like I said, I don't want to spoil anything, but in episode 2, you'll see like the ripple effect. There's other like fringe people. Like it's, like it keeps growing bigger and bigger and bigger. And then
Like
it's
the girl in the hospital?
the girl in the hospital. There's her brother. Like all these, like, these kind of characters where you at first watch would be like, they're not significant to the story, but like it's just all like weaving together.
Yeah, well, I would say this is the kind of show like you should watch twice, because I watched it twice and there are things you will miss until you realize that you're like, oh, wait, that was significant. And then you go back and then you see how they laid the groundwork for that moment.
Exactly.
Let's dig into some things that we liked about this episode more specifically.
Huge shout out to Andrea Higgins, who's the music supervisor for this show. I felt the music is doing some of the emotional heavy lifting in this episode. I freaking loved it. If you're familiar with our reviews, our podcast, Hallmark in general, there's a show, actually it's on Netflix too, a show called The Way Home, another show that has excellent music. This is the same format, like so good. It sets a tone. It is so, so good. So shout out to Andrea Higgins.
I really enjoyed Walter's grief storyline.
God, protect this man at all costs.
And by enjoyed, I mean it ripped my heart out and stomped on it. The slow realization of what has happened, the silent hospital, voiceless reveal that she's passed, his equally silent breakdown. Again, all of this set to the music that you talked about. When he walks in the door alone with her bag of hospital belongings, he talks about, we get reveals like he's not sleeping. He's keeping her side of the bed. The pebble moment he has back at their spot where they met in the beginning of the episode. The grief, he is showing us what he is going through. I want to wrap this man in a bubble. when we get to the end of the episode, he's forming these new friendships with Ellis and with Nate. I just feel so protective of him.
Same.
Incredible.
Let's talk about the rest of the cast.
Yes.
I personally feel like casting is unreal in this show. Ian Harding, obviously, I watch Pretty Little Liars. I know him from that show. I review a lot of Hallmark movies. I know him from Hallmark. I think he's great in this. He does a lot of emoting with his face.
Yes.
And I feel, oh my gosh, the micro expressions, the exhaustion he shows, the guilt, the tenderness, the scenes with his wife make me physically uncomfortable.
Right. He's juggling a bar. He's in the middle of a divorce that we don't fully understand the details of. He's co-parenting a daughter who is hard of hearing. And that cough that gives me that nerve. I mean, we know, obviously they don't tell us, but we know that the second he's coughing,
You're like, this is bad.
like my spidey senses are tingling when his wife's like, maybe you need an antibiotic. I'm like,
So not great. And that's what, like, when I'm watching this, I was like, oh, how was this going to be on Hallmark?
Right.
The amount of bad things happening in this first episode, I think might have scared people away.
Yeah, I think we're going to be redefining what it means to have a show with a happy ending. And look, I mean, talk about the amount of bad things. Let's talk about Aria. Aria is experiencing infertility. And we also learned she's experiencing infidelity.
That she doesn't know about
That
yet.
she does not know about. And she's in therapy. She's got stuff to deal with in therapy that she's not even willing to talk about because we see her therapist try and push her to talk about certain things and she changes the subject. There was something that caused her to abandon her music at one point. She doesn't want to talk about it. The therapist suggests that she's angry about something else, not just her infertility, but she doesn't want to talk about that. I mean, there's so many layers to her. She herself is not messy, but her story is very messy. And there's a lot going on there.
Her entire arc to me feels like a slow car crash that I can't turn away from. It is, I don't know why I'm so drawn to her story. It feels like it's going to hurt the most. And I don't know why.
Finally, we have Chris.
I love Chris. I love the character Chris. Me too. I love Julia Chan. I was like, okay, I need to do a deep dive on her.
Right?
She's great.
She's really great. And look, she just has this strong presence when she storms into that bar and she's like, I'll have your best red. And he's like, we're not open. And she
was not taking no for an
She
answer.
does not take no for an answer. She and Nate have such incredible banter back and forth. I mean, they just give it to each other this whole time, but they're developing this beautiful relationship at the same time. I mean, they almost kiss. But on the one hand, I'm rooting for that. On the other hand, I'm fairly certain that Nate just received a terminal diagnosis on the phone, or at the very least, a not great diagnosis, whether it's terminal or not.
Well, I'm waiting for you to be like, and he's technically married still.
He is technically married, but they've been separated for a year.
Yeah.
I'm okay. He's married. It seems like the wife may be the holdup because he talks about, I'm looking for a new place. It's going to be close to our daughter's school.
Well, he's real short with her.
Yes. And she's like, oh, you're just pushing it along. He's like, it's been a year.
Yeah.
You're like, what's the backstory there?
Yeah, I need more backstory.
And when he shows up at the hospital, he's like, the school's calling me, telling me the check bounced. What's going on?
Need more story there.
Yes.
Let me ask you a question. Did you ever watch the series This Is Us or A Million Little Things?
I watched This Is Us. I didn't finish it. I've never seen A Million Little Things.
To me, this show is kind of in that lane. Like, this would have been network TV. I'm trying, like, I was going to compare it to the Greys, but maybe
Parenthood.
not. Parenthood. Yeah, kind of heavier themes.
Big ensemble cast.
It works for me. I also can see it's soft around the edges, which makes me believe it was developed for Hallmark. If it was originally developed for Netflix. It would have a little more teeth to it, like maybe some cursing. Ooh, get crazy. And it wouldn't, if there was cursing in it, like, look, guys, I have a terrible potty mouth. If there was cursing in it, it would be believable.
Yeah. With what they're going through.
With what they're going through. Exactly. Exactly. Oh, we didn't talk about Ellis and Tara.
Oh, yes.
I think these are great additions to the cast. They're not the main four, but they're definitely involved. When Tara goes to Walter's wife's funeral and then gives him like a pamphlet for like a support group or whatever, why is this woman so wonderful?
He tries to hand it back and she pushes his hand back and says, what doesn't bend breaks. And then he goes, tells her, this really isn't for me. When she says, it's cool, I get it. Like, we're going through the same thing. I thought we could maybe connect, help each other out. So she's willing to meet him where he is. The church support group isn't his thing. And now they're going to develop this friendship because they both lost their wives. The person I am perhaps most intrigued about is Ellis.
Tell me more.
So we see Owen say, I'm out. I'm getting a real job. I can't sit around here waiting to be discovered. Come to find out, Chris, our music exec, saw him, was charmed, and he took a corporate job. She says, man, Owen, we were supposed to starve together forever. We know Ellis is an artist. She's selling her designs on a t-shirt. And Nate's like, someday you're going to be in an art gallery. And the realization that Owen is wrapping it up.
Tapped out.
Gives his guitar away. He's moving on. The look on her face when she realizes, oh, when am I going to have to make that same choice for myself as well? What's her story there? I'm very intrigued by Ellis. I also find her so charming behind the bar. There is a character on TikTok that I'm going to link to in the show notes where it's like the bartender or the barista that everyone's in love with that has this quiet coolness about them. I'm going to link this TikTok because Ellis is giving that. And I am not knocking her performance by comparing it to a TikToker.
No, but I hear what you're saying. She is the epitome of like quiet cool. Yeah, she's super cool. I want to see more of that unfold as well. Now, I have a bunch of little likes. Can we go through them?
Yeah.
Lumi West is their cheers. It's their central perk. Yep. I love this choice. It gives the characters a home base in a show that is all about chaos, basically. I love that. Nate and Chris, for me, have lightning in a bottle chemistry.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for them, and the man is married. I know, like, he's separated. I don't get hung up on this. I'm truly surprised that you're not. I do feel like
their relationship is over. They're married in name only.
I agree with that.
When Chris walks into the bar in that final scene in the bar when they're all coming together, do you see the way they connect across the room and their eyes meet and they both smile at each other?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I love the way New York looks in this. I can't remember where they filmed this at.
Somewhere Canadian, I'm sure.
But doesn't it make New York, it's giving me, as a girl who grew up watching Felicity, it gives me those same sort of New York vibes. Like I was so drawn to New York City watching Felicity. It's the same feeling I have watching this too. And I don't know if they
Toronto.
Okay. But I mean, there's a lot of like New York scenes, obviously, but
yeah,
it just makes it feel cool, I guess. My final thing that I really like about it is that it feels a little voyeuristic watching this show because the viewer knows how things are connected, right? But they don't know. It has a term. I don't know what that's called in storytelling. It just makes for compelling TV for me.
Right. Like Walter and his wife didn't know that Chris runs right behind them during their opening meeting. And Aria doesn't know what the Pebble has done. And Aria doesn't know that Chris basically followed her home and, you know, deflects when Aria asks her, oh, do you live in the building? Oh, no, I know, you know, right? They don't know all of these things. Question for you. The cufflink moment.
Yeah.
We know, because they flash on it when he comes home from the bar. They kind of zoom in on that. When Chris meets Aria's husband, she's like, do I know you? And then she's like, oh, probably not. Do you think she actually recognized him as the guy in the bar? Or do you think she was just like, oh, that face is familiar?
I think it was just that face is familiar.
Yeah.
She may put 2 and 2 together eventually.
Let's talk what we wished for in this episode.
Honestly, I don't have any real wishes yet. I did mention it earlier that if anything, I have like my wishes. I wish it would have been developed for Netflix from the ground up, because then it would have had a little more
Punch.
grit to it. Yeah.
I just have a few little wishes. So early in the show, I'm just waiting for more world building into these characters because we just get such a light wash of several of them. I already miss Brenda. I understand that like her death is kind of the emotional heart of this episode, but I also could have used like 2 more little scenes of their marriage before he loses her.
I hope we get her in
Future episodes.
as memories or whatever. Yeah. She was great.
For the John Arya infidelity reveal, I felt like maybe it was a little bit too quick that we find out it was him. Like, I feel like we could have had that moment a little bit, like a little slow burned out about what's going on with the two of them. And then I just have a lot of questions. Like, I assume that Chris was fired, but we don't see her get fired. Like, did she just decide like, oh, this isn't working for me? Like, what happened there? I really want to know more about all of these people, but I probably have the most questions about Nate's situation at this particular point. What's going on with the marriage? And I also feel like there's more going on with the daughter. Like, when he loses it with her, is that just a moment of like, I'm sick? You know, kids can kind of be frustrating, or are they having trouble connecting already?
I gotta tell you, the little girl that plays the daughter, she reminds me so much of your daughter, like when she was little, like that, those big brown eyes and that all that brown hair.
Oh.
Yeah.
She's real cute little kid. Well, let's talk. Did you see that moment?
I have a couple.
Okay, let's hear it.
Pretty Little Liars fans know that the name Arya.
Oh.
It made me double take for a second. Ian Harding's character, I can't even remember his name of his character on Pretty Little Liars, but he was a teacher who got involved with a student. The student's name is Arya. I have real mixed feelings about it, but Arya is not a name you hear that often.
No.
And for it to play in this is kind of interesting. I thought that was really, I don't even know if it's clever. I don't know if it like,
or coincidental.
Coincidence. Yeah, exactly. The other thing, when the little girl who is hard of hearing runs out into the street in front of the car, I gasped out loud. Can you imagine being a parent of a child who cannot hear and you're trying to get their attention? Oh my God. Can you put yourself in that driver's perspective?
The emotional beats around parenting that daughter, when the mom, like, she's getting frustrated, she and Nate are getting heated, and he's like, stop yelling. She's like, why? It's not like she can hear me. And then she like gasps and is like shocked at herself.
Yeah, it's their situation is complicated.
Yes.
Very messy. My only other, did you see that, is something you bumped on earlier. This show does require close watching.
Yes.
So watch it once or twice because you'll see things that are connected that maybe you don't catch the first time around.
Yeah, I think the magic in this show is to what you said about everything that it reveals to the viewer that it has not revealed to those participating in it. The Blue Pebble cameo tour, which ties all of our main characters together in a way that they are unaware of at this point. Nate does not appear to be worried at all about his cough and eventual CT scan, but I feel like those moments are screaming to the viewer.
Yeah.
You know, the fact that the doctor talked about it. I actually really loved that scene with the doctor.
Me too.
The writing is so good. The choices we make now matter, but the choices we made in the past matter too. And then he's like, no judgment except for the sugar thing. Everyone needs a cookie now and then. Something about that speech.
Yeah.
Also, the filming of the biopsy scene. I thought that the tone of that was perfect. 3 to 4 days, you'll have the results, whatever she says. Like, everything about it is so clinical and so exactly how it goes and so very like by the book.
Yeah.
Because they just churn through these and the vast majority of the time it's nothing and no big deal and you go on with your life. I love the little bit about Nate that he can't stop talking. He just kind of brings things up. Can't stop talking to the doctor. Talks to the tech doing the biopsy. Oh, I used to like strawberries.
Yeah, he just fills the quiet space.
Fills the time. And the episode ending mic drop of Arya showing up at the bar but not going in.
I had to watch that scene several times because I was like, does she see something through the window? Does she see her husband? Does she see a reflection? What makes her spin out and run away from it?
Yeah, does she just panic? Because when the shot is really interesting. She looks through the window and they show it coming in and out of focus.
Yeah.
So is there something about, is she recognizing someone? Is there another connection that we aren't aware of? Or is she just like, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't do this.
Why is she backing off? There's something about her story that makes her afraid. Yeah. Excellent series.
I feel like I'm very excited to see where this goes. This is a must-watch show. It was trending on Netflix yesterday.
I saw.
I love it when it breaks the top 10.
Me too. My worry is this, and if you guys didn't know, this was filmed
A while ago.
quite some time ago. If Netflix is like, yo, I think it's Lionsgate who actually is.
Yeah.
If they say we want to do another season, is it too late for that? I don't know how that works.
Like, have these actors moved on to do other things?
Yeah.
I mean, I think if Netflix has come back, they're going to come back.
Show me the money.
Right? You know, I think it's all that unusual for stuff to be that spaced out, especially in this day and age of streaming where we drop it all and then it's going to be another full year plus before we get something new.
Fair.
I think it's not that, unfortunately, unusual.
I do also think it's a weird drop that Netflix put it out at the beginning of December. Is there any holiday sprinkled in? We don't know time frame, right?
Not that we've seen.
Have they told us like what part of the year we're in?
I don't think so.
I don't think I've really. And they are wearing jackets though, so maybe it probably doesn't matter. It just is interesting to me that Netflix just was like, all right, let's put it out.
Right.
December. Here we go.
Here we go. Thank you for listening to this episode of Girls Gone Hallmark, a Bramble Jam podcast. As mentioned, we will be dropping reviews of Ripple every week throughout the completion of this series, so come back for more and stay tuned for our Hallmark movie and series reviews as well. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
All right, friends, before we go, just a quick heads up. You're about to hear some ads. These little gems help us keep the show running and the Hallmark love flowing. So do with that info what you will. Grab a snack, hit the skip button, or maybe, just maybe, listen in and discover your new favorite product. Bye.